In this episode, we're talking about a bit of everything, including tactics, deck builders, horror, and some of the weirdest games we've seen in a while. This and more on Indie Game Arcade. Welcome back to Indie Game Arcade, a podcast that deep dives into the latest and greatest indie games. I'm your point-and-click gamer prince. My name's Chris.
And I'm your sin-soaked strategist, Joseph.
Ooh, you're so sinful. Gross. Clean yourself up.
Just soaked in sin.
Go to church. Ugh, gross. Ugh, I can see the sin dripping off you from here.
I mean, I'm just devoted to this Cult of the Lamb. Don't know if you've heard of it.
You know what? I wanted to play some more of Cult of the Lamb Woolhaven this week, and I never got around to it. But did you get to play some?
Okay. I have spent probably over the last,
this was a dumb question.
Well, okay. It's not a dumb question because the answer is no, the short answer.
Oh, okay.
This is the long answer is I have played probably 20 hours or so of Cult of the Lamb because I started over from the beginning, and I wanted to do all of it again. And when I went over to Callie's the other day, she beat the final boss of the main game as I was watching. So I was like, that got me really excited about it. So I was like, well, I want to start my save over and do all this again. So I did all that. And that doesn't take that long to get through the initial run. But then I found out that with all the things they've added after the fact, that there's so much post-game stuff and something to do with some weird angel-looking dude who doesn't have a name. And then all these other tiers, God tiers you have to get and everything, TEARS. And that's outside of the Woolhaven expansion. So I'm still doing all those other things because I got so excited over all of that I haven't even got the chance to jump into it. So it's not for lack of playing the game. It's just they just offer up so much content now that I didn't even know about that I got super excited and super into just the flow of it. And so I would imagine within the next few hours, maybe I'll feel good enough to move on to that. But right now I'm just soaking in all of the base game plus the previous expansions that have come before Woolhaven. And then I know that Woolhaven's even bigger than the base game, apparently. So that's going to be a whole nother thing. So yeah, that's my long answer to that question.
From what I remember from when that first expansion came out, so it was that first expansion doubled what the base game was. The stuff with you were talking about with the angels and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So from what I understand, it doubled the amount of the game. And then I think Woolhaven is doubling all of that, essentially.
Oh my gosh.
So
I can't even imagine.
So the game's essentially 4 times as big as it, was.
Well, I'll tell you what though, I'm still enjoying it. So it's doing something right. It's just got a really fun loop to it. And it's not overly complicated, but it's also not overly simple. There are adjustments you can make to it. There's this one cloak that I like to use or whatever, fleece, I think it's called, that it's a berserker one where you only take one hit, but you do triple damage or something. You do so much damage.
I remember that one.
That you basically one shot everything except for bosses and whatnot. And that's been really exciting. If I ever feel it's getting a little dull or something, I'll just throw that on, get my ass kicked, and it's okay, now I'm knocked off my high horse. Time to start playing normally again. So yeah, it's just been a really good blend of fun and exciting new things for me. And the reason I haven't really talked about it on the show is because I have not played Woolhaven yet. And once I do, then I'll feel good enough to actually bring it back to the episode. Be okay, here are my thoughts on all of it.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm gonna try to get to it as well. So if I get a chance, I will hop in there in between all the other games that we're playing because we played a lot this week.
So many.
I feel this week, I think we played more than we usually do.
But I'll tell you what, there are some that really stuck out to me in a way that I wasn't expecting to, and some that fell a little short.
Yeah, same for me. So let's go ahead and get started talking about those. And the first one that I wanted to talk about, and I don't know if this is one that stood out to you or one that fell short for you, so I'm a little unsure on this one.
Game start!
But this is Conquest Tactics, Realm of Sin, which was developed by Singular Sunshine Studios and published by Thousand Generation. This is like a dark fantasy roguelike tactics game, but with like such an interesting gameplay system. Yeah. Where it's like, you're not like doing, I don't know. It's not like a tactics game in the way that I think I've ever really played one. It's almost like you have little like board game pieces in a way, like little avatar guys. And you have this very small, limited hex grid that you can put them on to attack your opponents and stuff with the goal to destroy the enemy flag, while you are also defending your flag. And you can only place your pieces and stuff, your characters, where like you have like similar ones like nearby. Like they have to be within a certain range of each other, which like, you know, drastically contains like the amount of like strategy and stuff that you have to do. So like placement is absolutely everything in this one. More than most tactics games.
I agree. And when I read it at first as like I think it's labeled as like a deck builder also. And I didn't understand that at first because I was like, well, there's no cards, but it's like the deck building aspect of it, like your units are basically the cards like your deck, that you're putting out. Yeah. Because like you were saying, it's not a tactics game where you put all your units out before the battle and then everything's set up and then you're moving across like a large like terrain or anything. It is this like self-contained like hex grid with just two flags. And it seems like it would be like, okay, very simple or simplistic at first, or just like it might lose its appeal pretty quick. But that's one I want to tell you, like this one surprised me in a way where I was like, oh my God, like I really enjoy this to the point where I'm going to purchase this game because I just played the demo and I am interested in playing more of it still. Like I beat the first run I did of it, but that made me want to keep coming back for more. But I didn't want to do like another demo run. So I'm going to wait until I actually purchase it to do that. But I also wanted to hear your thoughts on it too, because this one was super like surprising to me since I didn't even know about it until you mentioned it that you were going to play. I was like, oh yeah, I'll give that one a shot too. It looks kind of cool. And yeah, it just kind of blew me away with how like out of nowhere it came.
Yeah, I found this thing really fascinating. And like, I'm not going to lie, at first, when I first booted it up, like I first booted it up on the Steam Deck and like it was just not friendly for like the Steam Deck as far as like the controls and everything just was not going to work out really well. So I was just like, I don't know about this. So I was like, I'll try it on the PC later. And I first started and I just wasn't quite really getting it at first. And then like, I didn't fail my run. Like I got all the way through my first run, but, I think it took me, at least 2 battles to feel like I really understood what was being asked of me for the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. Like I am definitely somebody that enjoys learning through trial and error and learning by doing rather than, like reading or something or being told what to do. Like I want to go in, see what my limits are, fail a little bit. If I have to understand, how far can I do certain things like, how do I attack? How do I do all this stuff? How do I create synergies and stuff? And that's exactly what I was able to do by that second battle. And then I really started to understand just how nuanced the gameplay and the combat can be, especially like there is this one point where like it, just like in some other roguelikes, thinking of, again, how I always go back to like the Slay the Spire as kind of the model of like you get to choose your paths and stuff. Here, it doesn't really matter. You can like circle back and revisit paths, which is great. Like you can go back to the tavern a bunch of times, the church a bunch of times.
It sort of has like a Risk of Rain or Risk of Rain 2 kind of deal where it's like you can stay as long as you want to, but your threat level is going to go up not based on time, but the way it works is like every time you move a tile, a day passes, and after 7 days pass, a week passes, then your difficulty level goes up by 1, and that adds different things depending on the actual difficulty level it is, and it stacks to the point where it's like you kind of like in any roguelike where you're adding challenges to it. It's like, okay, this is here, this is here, this is here. Now it's all built up together. That's what that's doing. So yeah, you can stay as long as you want and like move around the map at your own, like to your own will, to wherever you want to go. But the longer you're there, the harder it's going to get for you. And so you kind of have to, it's a risk reward system, which I really appreciated because there was a lot of interesting things I wanted to see on the map, but I didn't quite feel like I should, because I was like, man, if I go all the way back down there, by the time I get up to the boss, it's going to be like difficulty 5, and I don't think I can handle that. Like, not in my first try.
I went for it, man. I hit everything.
Oh, wow.
I just threw caution to the wind because I was like, if I need to do another run, I will. I wanted to see what all I could do. Like, I did this. One of the things they do too is events, which are fun, which is like, you don't know what you're going to get into. Like, maybe it's going to be a battle, maybe it's not. And one I got into, which was like something about like I got passage on like a ship, but then like you have choices and stuff of how you want to handle certain events. Something happened on the ship, and I wish I could remember what it was. And like, because I chose something specific, I ended up in this like really, really difficult battle at sea, essentially. And I did win the battle, and coming through that, it gave me like 2 new characters, and those characters had like really good synergy with each other because they were like a married couple. And one of them was great because he like, if I put him out, and I always put him right by the flag, he extended the range in which I could place other characters, which was awesome. And then the other one was his wife was this lady that you put her down, and then she spawned 3, like, she doesn't do any damage or anything herself, but she spawns 3 other, like, not high health, but other guys that do damage, like, around her, while her health is actually really high. So it's like those 2 by the flag were fantastic to have, and they worked really well with each other. So it was such like one of those things that was like, it was so risky, but it was really worth it in the end. And that's one of the things I do like about this game, is that taking those big risks really pays off for you. And I really enjoyed that. And also like
literally whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger in this game.
Yes, very much. There's so much of that. And like also like in some games, I feel like when you spend money and like say recruit somebody, sometimes I feel like in some games it's really hit or miss. It doesn't really, I don't know, make that much impact. But like there are characters in this game where like they are really powerful if you know what to do with them. Like I got a couple guys, like this one mercenary from like a black market place, who did like after a while, like it took a while to build up his damage, but he was doing so much damage by the time I was at the boss. And I got this other guy from the church that did quite a bit of damage like right off the bat, and then I upgraded him. And through winning other battles and stuff, he became so powerful. He attacked in every single direction, like in 5 directions or 6 directions all around him. And he was doing like 13 damage at, one time to everyone around him. So it's like I get surrounded by a group of dudes. I just throw him out and he takes everyone out in a circle. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so powerful.
Yeah, there was this one like beast man that I ran across, and I offered him some health or something. And because he was injured, and that recruited him. And he became like one of my top like dudes the entire run, because his thing was whenever he would deal damage to something, whenever he killed someone, he would get like 6 extra attack, 2 extra attack and 2 extra health. And
that's awesome.
As I just went around doing that, like he just became such like a buff dude by the end that he could like single-handedly like take out the flag in like a single hit by the time I got over to it. So that's like, I love all the different synergies there are. I'm sure, because like the way we're making it sounds like very easy. And I think like maybe our runs were because they were just starting, because you can only go up to like 3rd level of difficulty at the beginning. And there are like 10 of them. So it's like, yeah, I'm sure it will get challenging to the point where it'll feel more balanced at that point without us feeling like we can get like super overpowered, to where it would probably be not worth like exploring the whole thing before you go to the boss, because you will just absolutely get crushed. But it didn't hit that point in the demo. And so I think that's like in favor of the game, because it really sold me on it, the amount of fun I had, and the fact that like I know that this isn't as hard as it gets, so I'm excited to see like what else this game has to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see like what all the campaigns and stuff are like, and plus the idea that, you know, every time you play it can be different, because like it depends on, you know, what people you're recruiting and stuff.
Yeah.
So it like it's going to be different every time, and that's just very exciting to me. So yeah, fantastic game. Completely, it wasn't on my radar until like this week when I was just like, hey, I think we should play this one. So very, very happy that we played this one.
Thank you for bringing this to my attention, because it's right up my alley for sure.
Absolutely. Let's move on to our next one. Let's talk about Don't Stop Girlypop. This was developed by Funny Fenton Softworks and published by Quali. This was that one that like I've talked about this for several weeks in a row, I think, of just like, this is one that I really wanted you to play specifically. I did play it a little bit too, but like I knew that you were going to be better at this than I was.
Yeah, this one was one I know I had my eyes on for a while too, and it was exactly what it kind of proposed itself to be, which is a like super like hyper fast FPS set with like a Y2K girly pop sort of aesthetic, and your upgrades, well, your decorations to your guns and your gloves are just like rhinestones, like little toy sharks, things like that. Like it's
I love those.
So bright and colorful, and the music is funny because it's like, it's just basically an ongoing beat of like Don't Stop Girlypop, but then like if you're going too slow, it'll tell you, it's like, better speed up, like you're going too slow.
Yeah.
Like it won't stop telling you. It's like, I know, I'm trying. And so it's just like getting into the rhythm of it is the whole point of the game, because it's just like chaining off of things, and literally they tell you constantly to keep holding forward, like keep moving, like stopping. If you stop moving, like you're missing out on so much, because you lose like your bonus to damage and everything, and you're just open to enemy damage. So you literally have to just continue moving, going as fast as you can, taking out enemies as fast as you can, countering them. You can parry bullets and things like that. You can do finishing strikes on damaged enemies. And the whole time, like you've got a sort of support avatar with you, like talking to you. My favorite is the Tamagotchi Tommy, the little T-Rex. He is so funny. And he's just like, I just need more love. Just keep giving me love. And he's just like, every enemy you kill is like energizing him. But if you slow down, like he will just like die, or like you'll lose your run or whatever, or the level, because, you know, Tommy dies off because he didn't get enough love. And so like, it's just the whole thing. It's hectic and just super fast paced, but I don't think it's like so fast paced that it's not manageable.
I was trying to think of the best way to describe this thing, and the best way I can think of it is like Ultra Kill meets like Bratz, and that's the best aesthetic I can come up with.
Basically.
Yeah. And it was just like, it was a delight, honestly. It's very, the humor of the whole thing and just how over the top and ridiculous is what made it for me. Like I struggled through some of it. Like I definitely wasn't getting S ranks on anything. I did get a few A ranks here and there, but definitely never saw an S. But honestly, it was just like the theme of everything, the music, which was really good. And also like, I really enjoyed like the bad guys of it too, especially the one dude who was just like this huge I don't know, like giant. I don't know how to describe this guy, but he just reminded me of something out of like, I don't know, like X-Men Apocalypse World sort of stuff. Just this giant hulking monstrosity.
Yeah, kind of like a Marauder type thing from the X-Men universe, where it's like just a flesh combined with some kind of like weird vehicular or just like weird mechanical stuff, a weird cyborg kind of dude.
Yeah.
And he's just talking the whole like talking trash to you the whole time. That was like the beginning boss kind of thing that like shows you kind of how the game was working. But I think it is a lot to take in at first until you like learn and kind of get on its level. They're throwing a lot at you very quickly and not giving you a lot of time to really like understand what the thing even is. It'll just be like a pop-up on your screen that has like a big text blurb. It's like, do this. Okay, cool. Like, when do I use that? How can I use that? And so
exactly.
There's a lot going on. And so I think it is a lot to take in initially, but as you get used to it and as you start feeling the flow of it, I think it starts coming together really well.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I think I struggled with the most was navigation a few times. Was like, I got turned around quite a few times when I first started playing. Like not the very, very beginning, like, but after you kill that first boss, well, actually, like, you get defeated.
Yeah, he kills you, and that's what kind of starts it up like here's how the game begins kind of deal.
Yeah, and then it's sort of like reteaching you sort of everything, because it kind of just throws you into the deep end right at the beginning. And then you get defeated, you wake up, and it's like so many years have passed, and it's sort of reteaching you and reorienting you. And it's going like, I don't know, like step by step, introducing different aspects of gameplay and stuff. But there are so many. But in some of those things, like I felt like I wasn't sure where I was supposed to go sometimes. Like, especially like once I got past like the train stuff, there's a few instances where I'm like, cool, I don't know where I'm supposed to go next, because I just didn't see a clear marker on where I needed to be.
I would agree with that, because there were a couple times I got turned around because you'll go in a room by shooting a green heart door.
The heart, yeah.
And then that you'll fight through that room, and then there'll be like a green heart door. There'll be two of them. And you're like, well, which one is the one I need to go through? And there were multiple times I went through the one that I had already come through. It's like, why can't I even go back to that? Like, make it a different color or something if it's a room I just came from. Because I went like all the way back to the beginning of a level once because I was like, oh, whoops. I
did
completely
the same
flipped around.
Yeah, I did it too. I think I did that a couple times, to be honest. So.
Yeah, it's just there. Everything's bright. Everything's like so in your face and colorful. It's really hard to discern like directions, especially the way you're kind of jumping around and all over the place. So yeah, I'm with you there. And maybe some of that's like intentional, but it would have been nice, not necessarily like an arrow pointing to the right direction, but at least make a door that I've come through like a slightly different color. Maybe get like orange or whatever. Yeah. So it's like, okay, I've been there. Let me go to the green one.
Exactly. I think that would help a lot. Yeah, definitely with some like ease of life things.
Yeah. And maybe that'll be something they add. I don't know, like, if other people are having that issue, but the fact that both of us did makes me think that it might be pretty common.
Yeah, it's gotta be. But, that aside, it was such a blast. It was a fun thing. I don't think it's the kind of game that I would keep going back to just because it's really not my genre. But as far as that genre goes, it was some of the most fun I've had with it for, since I can really remember.
The only thing that I will say about the demo, at least, was like, it says you can use a gamepad, but I was not able to figure out how to use the controller with it. It just wasn't working. So I had to use mouse and keyboard. And so it's like, that's usually preferable for FPSs anyways, mouse and keyboard. But with something like this, I think an arena shooter, it's okay to use controller. And it says I could, but I couldn't do it in the demo for some reason. So just an FYI, if you try out the demo and can't do it, that maybe that's a thing. So hopefully in the full release, it does actually let you use a gamepad, a controller.
Yeah.
Power up!
Hey, if you're enjoying this episode so far, do us a favor and throw us a like, a follow, share the episode or the podcast with folks who love indie games so we can get more of these game recommendations out there and support indie game devs. We also have our YouTube channel at youtube.com/nerdsloth, where you can catch us playing more indie games, or check out our top 5 and top 10 series for even more indie game recommendations, because we believe there's an indie game out there for everyone.
Get ready!
Let's talk about more of the indie games that we played this week, because there are plenty of them. There's a few in this list that you didn't get a chance to play, so I will try to not spend like a ton of time on those, while also maybe trying to convince you to play one or two of them. But one of them is Plinbo, roguelike Plinko. I think I talked to you about this one in the past.
You've mentioned this to me multiple times.
Yeah. The reason
and my contention towards that was just like, is it too much like Billionaire, which I just really fell off of?
I'll tell you this much. I've sunk a lot of hours into Plinbo. I've sunk a lot of hours in, man.
Do you have the full? Is it just the demo you're playing, or do you have the?
No,
full
I got
release?
I got the full game. I have the full game because the devs sent us the game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I've sunk some hours into this. I have not beat a run.
Oh man. Okay.
It is difficult. And it's one of those things where I have not found the place in which I need to scale with the amount that the we'll say blind is scaling. Because it scales so much for so many rounds. There'll be 17 rounds, 18 rounds, whatever. And it scales, I feel a certain percentage for the first 10 rounds. And that I've never really had trouble keeping up with. But it's round 11 or 12 seems to be where I typically fall apart. And because I think it just really jumps up high from there. And it is not keeping the same level of percentile scaling and stuff. But the thing is man, I keep going back in. There is something about this goddamn game that I can't stop. I just can't stop. I can't stop launching my balls down the little pins. It's very interesting, and I think that there is a lot of really interesting card synergies and stuff, because you are using cards to create the effects and everything you need to complete a run, rather than in Billionaire, it was just either replacing pins, different balls and stuff like that affect the physics. Here, the physics aren't nearly as much of a factor, because the physics are just the idea that these balls drop down, they will hit some pins, but they will go down. There's nothing bouncing them back up into the air and all around this stuff, at least not in the first zone or something. Maybe in some of the other challenge maps and whatever, but at least not here. So really what you're contending with is getting these cards that change either the value of your balls or pins, or the multipliers that are lined up along the bottom of the screen. So when the ball hits the very bottom, it will, whatever that ball has earned or whatever the value of that ball is will get multiplied. You can get specialty balls that do, different effects and stuff, or you can enhance the pins. So that's really the things that you're worrying about. It's just a tough game, at least for me, to wrap my head around. But I'm honestly enjoying it. So I'm terrible at it, but I'm having a fun time being terrible.
Okay. I mean, that's a selling point, I guess. Because I do want to try it. I'm curious about it, especially with how much you've been playing that. Every time I'm on Steam, I feel like I see you jump on, you're playing Plinbo. So
yeah, it's become kind of like my downtime game lately. And I think also because I am so fucking determined to beat a run of this goddamn game. I have to. Yeah. I just want to beat one run, man. And I swear to God, there's going to be so many people out there that are listening to this and they're like, how have you not beat a run? How? And man, I don't know. I don't know what the exact mental deficiency, which one I have that's causing this, but I just haven't.
The last game that made me feel that way was Dogpile, where it's I have to beat a run of this or I will not feel satisfied with my life. And I finally did, and it felt incredible, but it's you get so close and then it just gets taken away from you because, I don't know, some giant dog will come in at a weird angle.
Were you mad at me when I told you that I beat my very first run of Dogpile?
Yes, because it took a while.
I didn't realize, like, literally I fired it up. I was in my bed and I just like did it.
Beginner's luck on that because like it's so random. But then it's when I started adding in like the challenges, and that's when it became like, okay.
Yeah,
like,
I've never beat it since.
Like, it's like, okay, I don't think it took me that long to beat the initial run, but when I started adding challenges to it, that's when it was like, oh my God, okay, this is where it really starts unlocking like the different colored decks and things like that with the modifiers to them. And so like, that's a game I probably will go back to at some point and just like try to unlock some of the extra stuff in the same way that you would with Balatro or whatever.
Yep.
And
yeah, I still go back to that.
Yeah. So Dogpile, great game. Not what we're talking about, but it was what it made me think of with the whole addictive loop.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a very addictive game. Just as a heads up, if you can't already tell, because I put in like 10 hours or something.
Now I feel determined that I need to beat my first run of Plinbo just to upset you.
Don't do this to me.
Just to get revenge.
No, don't do it to me. Oh, man. Let's move on to our next game.
All right.
Let's talk about I Hate This Place.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. This is a survival horror game with a very like comic book kind of art style. Starring here's the thing, man. I don't want to be that guy, but maybe I just am that guy because the very first thing I noticed about this game is that this woman has some cake. Oh my God.
Even as she's running, you can see her carrying like a trailer behind her, basically.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She is very well endowed in the rear. But this is based off of course, an Eisner nominated comic series of the same name, apparently, which I didn't even realize until I started playing it and I heard about that.
Yeah, I actually just found out about that earlier today, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go check that out. So I might actually try to read that. Maybe I'll start reading that tonight. I don't know. I'm really deep in the Dr. Stone manga right now. So I don't know.
Man.
Maybe this will come up next. We'll see. Or maybe sometimes I'll go back and forth. Maybe I'll try a little bit of this tonight and see. But
yeah, I wonder if this is an ongoing thing or if it's like a series that's already wrapped.
I don't know. So like one thing I do like about this is the atmosphere of this is really, really good. I think that that's something that they nail extremely well. And not just like how everything looks, but it looks great. Like the vibrancy of everything, the darkness, it does have a very creepy feel to everything. You feel very isolated. You feel very lonely. You feel very tense going through everything. You have to do a lot of stealth through the game, especially in the very beginning. And I do like all of that. The thing that I don't like about this the most is the combat. The combat felt very short to me. It felt very, very clunky. I felt like a lot of my hits just weren't even like landing. And I don't know if it's just because like the camera angle or something, though it didn't feel like it could have been the camera angle. I don't know what it was, but like it just didn't feel like there was any weight to anything and that like I was barely doing any damage or something because man, I could hit something forever and just nothing would happen.
Yeah, I think like with the combat, what I'll say about it, and I don't want to make it sound like an excuse or anything or like forgive this for its sins or whatever, but I think it was maybe intentionally the way that it is because it's not supposed to be your focus because these are just like otherworldly beasts that are like gigantic most of the time or just like way bigger than you. And so it's like, yeah, how would you stand up against something like that? You start with like a pistol and a bat. But then, like, outside of that, you need to pick up, like, bigger things to fight bigger enemies. And stealth, like you said, plays a big part of it. So combat is, like, last resort kind of thing. So I don't think you're meant to be, like, a dodge rolling around things and getting, like, perfectly timed hits or whatever. It's just like you're struggling because you were just a regular human up against these beasts. That's the way I perceived it. And, like, when I did have to fight something, like I found out some pretty good ways to like overcome it, but it usually wasn't my go-to move unless I just like needed to clear something out to get it out of my way so I could access something. But like the beast that was like a centaur, basically a centaur monster, I avoided that thing at all costs because it looked way too big and I wasn't even going to try to fight it.
Yeah, I did the same thing. It was kind of like one of those things where I sort of got to that point that maybe you're talking about where I realized that it was so much work and so hard to actually fight anything that I'm like, it's way easier for me to just try my luck sneaking past everything and trying to avoid as much combat as I can. And I don't know if that's what is intended for the game, but it feels like that's kind of like how you have to play it,
And maybe it's just like early on when you are pretty ill-equipped to fight these things because like it's brand new to you, all this stuff. It's not like you live in a world where this is common. So I'm feeling like it's just also you're just starting out. So maybe something does come along where it's like, okay, now I can make like better weapons. I can face these challenges with more confidence and whatnot. But I feel like the initial demo of it is just giving you a taste of like, okay, you should be scared because this stuff will kick your ass pretty quick.
Yeah. I was also kind of thrown off by like trying to understand the story of this thing, like especially like when you meet the Horned Man for the first time and like he's just kind of this dude who's just chilling and he's got those antlers and he's kind of like, hey, your friend went that way, but be careful. And he just keeps showing up and giving you advice. But like you keep finding stuff within the lab and everything that you're sneaking around in that's basically telling you like everything is his fault and he's the bad guy. And it's like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it yet. But hey, man, I don't know.
Well, like who can I trust? Who should I trust? And I think this game would have benefited a lot from like close-ups on the Horn. Even if it wasn't like a close-up of his like 3D model, like just give me a screen that just has like a dark, like him in the shadows or something and those eyes like peeking out. Like that would have been more effective to me than a small figure there with like just some dude chilling that has like a skull, like a whatever goat skull or whatever, a deer skull on his head. And that just wasn't really doing much because it's like, you don't look intimidating to me, but if it had been like a shadowy figure hidden in like the shadows, I would have been like, okay, this is kind of cool and has a creepy vibe to it, which I feel like is maybe what the comic would probably push forward more in the way that the art looks. So I think like the way the game is designed, not that I dislike the design in general, I just don't think it works as well for the horror vibes that this is also trying to give off.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I didn't find him any kind of intimidating or anything when I feel like he's supposed to be. And there's a few instances of that too, in a few different ways. But yeah, for the most part, it's just one where like I really love the look of it, did not really care for how it handled. So it's probably not one I'm going to be going back to, but one I am going to be checking out the comics for sure.
Yeah, I am curious about the story. I'll also check out the comics. The game, I probably also wouldn't go back to. I didn't like dislike it. It just wasn't one that stuck out to me enough to where I'm like, I got to play this game. I got to finish it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure it'll be great for some people.
Yeah, sure. The next game that I played was called Earth Must Die, which is a point and click interactive fiction style game.
Which, like, I did not play that.
I know you did not play, but I think you might wish you did in a way. It is your kind of humor, so like just to a T. This is like a very Adult Swim cartoon style humor for sure.
Okay.
Man, it it was cracking me up. So basically, the idea of this thing is like you are this like third son of this evil alien overlord guy. And your father, there's like a war going on. Your father is mortally wounded and he has to do something called like the Ascension or something. And he needs his sons to take over for him. And he calls in his two twins, his firstborn sons. But you're just like this like conniving, you're very smart, but you're such a little piss ant, just jerk. guy who talks like the way he speaks. He kind of sounds like one of the guys from What We Do in the Shadows, which is very funny to me.
Okay.
And your whole thing is like you want to be the one in charge and like the leader of your species. So like you. When they get in there, like you go through this series of events to try to turn your two brothers against each other, and like it works pretty well, and they kill each other in the most violent of ways. Like hilariously over the top, like violence is what I'm talking about. And so you become like immediately after like the dad sees them both die violently, even though he's been like insulting you the whole time. He's like, "Come here, my favorite son." And like, basically you get to take over and everything. And you are just you want to take over the earth essentially, but there's like all of these things kind of in the way and things that need to be done for you to be able to do that. But you also are such a little shit that you don't want to get your hands dirty yourself. So you're always trying to like convince other people to do stuff for you. Even like one stupid little thing is like there's this button that needs to be pressed, but you don't want to press it yourself. And so like, because that's something poor people would do is press a button. And so like you create this tiny little like microscopic civilization whose whole job is to like develop and then press the button for you.
Wow.
But then something happens and they start not doing it. So then you have to shrink down and go in there and like figure out what's going on and stuff. And it's just like a whole series of like almost like Rick and Morty-ish kind of things, but with you as this just conniving evil idiot. And it is just very, very funny. I thought it was like the writing is fantastic. I think some of the point and click part of it, like instead of just like pointing and clicking on things that you want to do, you have like you have to like click and drag from yourself to the things that you want to interact with. Cause it's essentially like you're almost going from like your dude's mind. That felt a little cumbersome after a while. Like after a while, I just got tired of doing that. And I'm like, just let me click on the goddamn thing and, select whatever. But, that aside, that feeling a little clunky, the story, the artwork, the voice acting is all 100% top notch. And I think something that anyone with like our style sense of humor, anyone that likes, the kind of humor that you would get from like Adult Swim or something like that, this is 100% a game that you would enjoy.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I do like the look of it and the sound of it for sure. Steam, however, like has my number, and it's like this game doesn't look like other things you've played in the past. As such, we don't have much information on whether or not you might be interested in it.
Yeah, they're like, so, we don't know.
Yeah,
don't know what to tell you about this.
They know me well. So yeah, I don't like. This is one that I would like to try. I wish they had a demo of it still, but it seems like that they don't anymore. Oof, I don't know. That's tough for me. It's only $12 though, so it's like not a big loss, and maybe worth it just for the story alone.
Maybe it's one that like try to watch somebody else play it and just see first. Watch the first chapter or so and see what you think.
Yeah, let me see how cumbersome that dragging feels.
If you are a fan of point and clicks, like anyone listening, I would recommend it because I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, this is a show I'd watch for sure.
Oh, easily. That's something I would want to watch. Let's move on to our next game, The Spirit Lift, which was another deck builder. This one's kind of like a horror-centered sort of one where you are choosing a team, like a group of like teenagers who are then going up through like this elevator into like a haunted hotel. You're having to battle through like each floor and stuff to get to the top floor and then defeat the thing at the very, very top, essentially. This one, I was kind of like, I felt more neutral on this one than most of the other games that we played this week. There's things I liked about it, things I didn't like about it, but I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I thought that I was going to feel more neutral towards it because, they're like roguelike deck builders are a dime a dozen, literally. And I play so many of them that I have a pretty good idea of what I like and what I don't like about them. And this one, I think, as far as the art goes, like that was interesting to me because of the way it blends like these really nice like 3D backgrounds with some like very basic kind of like 2D images of the creatures, which I don't know like if that's a pro or a con for me. It just seemed interesting that they had these elaborate 3D backgrounds and these like really kind of just like clip art sort of. I'm underselling it a bit. Like it's not clip art literally, but it's just like the very flat kind of like sticker looking monsters. Even though I like the like idea of the monsters and the art behind them, it just was an interesting
Stark
contrast
difference.
for me. Yeah. So that is one thing, but then it's like, okay, well, how is the deck building itself? That's where I really did start to find some enjoyment once I figured out the mechanics behind it. And even more so once I beat the run and then it unlocked another character and I got to see like that selection screen. I was like, okay, so it's like you're selecting different types of 90s teens, like stereotype teens where it's like, okay, it starts you with like a couple jocks and then one nerd. And I didn't realize that was what was causing the cards that I had in my deck. So it's like the jocks are these red cards that are usually offering you things like a baseball bat or, various other sports related
like
things.
Physical attacks.
Yeah. And that's what's like doing most of your attack stuff. And then the nerd one, the computer nerd guy that you start with is like offering you like a camera that has like a flash on it that does something, or just various other tech things. It's sort of like your magic equivalent in that way, or more like technical things that aren't just straight physical attacks. So I thought that was a cool blend. And then I saw after you beat the run, like the demo run at least, which is very short because it skips multiple floors as you're going up the elevator, and it tells you it's like it's skipping these because of the demo. So you're skipping 4, 5, 6 floors at a time or whatever. And you see it like rushes you up to the top so you can get like a good idea, which I appreciated because that just shows me it's like, okay, I don't know if I would have had the patience in a demo to go through the entire like 12 floors of it or whatever it was. So this was a good preview for me to see. And after you beat it, I unlocked like a goth chick or something. It's like, okay, and she's adding now some kind of like weird curse things or whatever cards to the deck. I didn't play like another time to try that out, but I like that there's the different blend of cards you can have together, the different deck builds you can sort of go towards, and more than likely like unlockables for the cards you're getting as well. And as you're going through the run, you can power up your cards too. Like, okay, my baseball bat now does like a little bit more damage or something, or whatever the case is. So I found myself like liking it. I don't know like ultimately if I'll love this one, but it is one that I would like to continue playing.
Yeah, I like the theme of it, I think, more than I liked the gameplay of it. I think the gameplay was fine. It was okay. Some of the synergies just didn't click for me in the way that I think other deck builders have. I definitely did not really enjoy my first run, which was the two jocks and then the nerd guy, as you were saying, the camera guy. But once I got through that run, I unlocked a different one. I didn't get the goth girl that you were talking about, but I got an artist who was sort of like a healer kind of class with the way her cards were. And so I swapped out the nerd guy for her, and that one run was actually pretty fun. Like I had a much better time with that one, with stacking a lot of like health regen and then having cards that would do damage equal to the amount of regen I had.
Okay.
So that was interesting. I did like that. There was just like a few other things I was just kind of like, I don't know, left wanting a little bit. Like there could be more card variation or something. Like you can get other cards and stuff like that, but like that's not very frequent. But maybe that's just like part of the demo because like you said, we're not getting every floor and everything. We're just kind of, getting a few floors and then getting to the top and stuff like that. So maybe we're not seeing as much variation as a result. And one of the things that miffed me, though, that I was upset about was, did you go to the vending machine?
I don't think so.
Okay, there's a vending machine. And when you go to the vending machine, you can spend your money and you can get either a normal item. It's a mystery. You don't know what you're going to get, but you can pay to get a normal item for like so much money, like 300, or an elite kind of item for 500, like a rare item. So the first time I went to that vending machine, I did not have enough to get like whatever the cool fancy elite item's going to be. So I did the basic for 300. It gave me a boom box. If I remember right, it's a zero cost card. and you play it, and then it gives you a random physical attack card. Like, okay, that's fine. That seems pretty basic. So second run, I get there. I've got enough money. I'm like, okay, 500. Give me that cool elite card. What do you think I got, Joseph?
Was it a boombox again?
It was a boombox. I was like, come on, I spent 500 for that? You gave me a basic when I spent all my money. Yeah. So I was a little miffed on that one. I was come on.
I wonder if that's like a meta progression thing or something like that.
I was like, dude, I got stiffed. In this game.
Did you get to or beat the boss of the demo?
Yeah, I beat him on my second run, not on my first.
Was he also the like vampire guy? Or was yours different?
I don't think he was a vampire. He was like, he looked a little bit more like, maybe he was supposed to be a vampire. He kind of looked like the Pale Man a little bit in a way. I don't know. And he summons a ton of mushroom dudes.
Okay, I think it was the same dude then that I fought. Because I remember the summons, but I think he was some kind of vampire. I don't know.
I mean, he might be vampire-esque, but it wasn't like, he didn't look like a Dracula.
No.
He wasn't a fancy man going, oh, come here, my love. You know? No. He didn't he was just seduce me.
All about the shrooms, really.
Okay. Yeah.
Some kind of fungal vampire looking dude.
Yeah.
But I like that there are kind of interesting sort of like final bosses, like a variety of them apparently. I don't know if they are randomized per run or if it's like a progressive thing where it's like, okay, I beat the Dracula dude, now I have to go fight the next guy kind of deal as I go up this elevator on a different run. I'm not sure how the progression works in it, but I'm positive towards this game. Like I want to play more of it. I likely will pick it up because I love the vibe, the 90s horror kind of like vibe of it. And it's like a playful horror. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to be creeped out, but it's like just a fun, stereotypical 90s horror kind of deal. And so I like that aspect of it, of course. And the rest of it, it's like, yeah, maybe it's not going to be my favorite deck builder ever, but I think it is one to add to my collection for sure.
Well, I'm glad you liked it because I was neutral. Yeah, I was like, it's one that I think I could take or leave. Like, I could see myself maybe trying a run here or there, but I think for the most part, I was like, I saw what I wanted to see. And I don't know. It wasn't for me.
Yeah, it wasn't as much of a sleeper hit as the Conquest game was, Conquest Tactics, but I liked it. So yeah, I didn't like it more than I thought I would have liked it as much as I thought it would, basically.
Yeah, I do love the theme of it though. Like the idea that you were using like a team of different 90s kid archetypes, that I think is fantastic, and I do love that. So
yeah, a lot
that's
of fun.
strong. All right, let's talk about our last game real quick, which is Roots Devour. This one was one that I got to play. You did not get a chance to play this one.
I missed the demo. I know, I had it downloaded and I was ready to play it yesterday, and I tried clicking on it. It's like, nope, demo removed. Like, no.
Here's a trick, I think. If you go offline, like if you kill your internet connection, then I think it'll work.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, too late now because I think I already uninstalled it.
Yeah. I had that happen once before where like I had something downloaded on my Steam Deck. It was a demo, but then I knew that it had come out and they had gotten rid of the demo. But at the time, I was somewhere where I did not have a Wi-Fi connection and I was able to play the demo. So, because it couldn't connect, through the cloud to tell me, no key. So
fair. Well, how was it?
It was pretty cool. So the game is essentially like, I'm trying to think of how to describe this thing. Because it's like unlike any game I think I've ever really played before. So it's a strategic game. It is kind of a deck builder. But it's not like a deck builder like in the vein that we're used to. Really, the idea of this thing, I guess let me start with sort of the story beat, and then that'll help explain the mechanics of the game and stuff. So it's kind of like you start as like this little ranger guy, but everything's explained through cards. Like you see a little ranger card guy who goes out into the woods, gets captured by like these cultists and turned into this newly formed eldritchy tree horror thing. that doesn't really understand what's going on. And then there's this other sort of entity named Flora that's sort of guiding you and telling you what to do. And what you have to do is kind of to live and thrive in everything and to feed because you are starving. You have to extend your roots because you, like I said, you're sort of a eldritch, plant thing. You have to extend your roots out and sort of infect and entrap different things, whether that is linking up to other plant life or something just as a point of direction of where you can move next. Or what you really need is to hit other animals and stuff like rabbits or deer or whatever and drain them of blood, because what you need to do is collect blood. That's kind of the whole thing. And you need to reach there are these really, really big maps, and you're kind of in a fog of war and stuff. So you can't really see everything that's going on. And you have there's a certain point somewhere on this map that you need to reach, and you don't know where it is. You just have to keep reaching your roots out and try to get to that point, right? And you need so much blood to keep you going, because eventually, each thing that you trap, you get a rabbit, eventually you're going to drain that thing of blood, and it's not going to keep, giving you blood. So you're going to have to keep moving with those roots. But also, if you extend your roots so far, because you are plant life, you will start losing water. So you can shrivel up and die also. So there's a lot of management things that you're sort of having to be strategic about and balance. There's a lot more things within that too. There's certain cards and stuff that you will collect to help you get through that stuff. You might run into rocks that you can't get through, and maybe at some point you'll pick up something that will allow you to break through the rocks. There's events that you might run into with cultists out in the woods, and you might want to try to use your roots to, instead of just going towards the end of the level, Flora might tell you, hey, we need to track those cultists down and take them out as well. So then you might start following that path and try to figure out where they went, and you might see footprints or something like that and start following that trail, which might lead you to something else or some other event. Or you might end up running into another eldritch sort of god or something out there too, and connect with them. And then it ends up being some sort of battle of wills between the two of you at some point, and you have to make the right decision to not end up dying. So there's a whole bunch of different things and nuances and stuff going on with it. So it's just so interesting in that way. It is really, again, like I said, it's unlike a game I've ever played before.
I love the art style of it, especially when I'm looking at the character art. That's really cool. It's very Darkest Dungeon with the heavy shadows, but the gameplay does look incredibly unique. I'm even listening to you saying that and describing it as I was looking at pictures of it. I'm I still don't understand exactly how this all works. I get the concept of you're devouring things with your roots, as the name suggests. But then it's okay, well, how does all of this work together in tandem? Does it feel like something that by the time you got to the end of the demo, you're okay, I could confidently go into a round of this and know what I'm trying to do, or what I need to be aiming for?
I will admit it took me a little bit to sort of understand the mechanics of everything, partially because the translation for this was not very good. I don't know. And I don't want to throw this dev under the bus or something like that, because you know what, if you're not American or something like that, but the US is one of the largest, markets for gaming and stuff like that, and you don't speak, English or something like that, that obviously is going to be tough. Unless you have the money to spend on really good, translation and stuff like that. And for an indie dev, it's if there are translation errors or things that don't quite make sense, I am totally understanding and willing to be yeah, you know what, I get it. It's fine. But with that, so some of the mechanics and things were not explained super well, and some of them were not translated super well, in addition. So I don't think to a point where there is anything where it's you can't understand what's happening. But it was definitely one of those things where like I felt like I needed to just experiment a little more myself to kind of really understand like sort of like with the first game we talked about with Conquest, what is expected of me and how this game works. But I think after like I started doing like one run and it didn't go super well, but by the time like I failed that, I think I really understood enough to confidently be like, okay, I know what I need to really focus on to be more successful and have fun playing this game. And that one like went way longer. And enough too that I was just like, oh man, if I had like gotten like a card like this, like I could see how it could work over here. And oh, I wish I would have saved this one card that I picked up to use with this like deer that I found. So I could have
so you
this
found
deer.
yourself starting to like strategize about the synergies of it all. That's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. And theory craft and all kinds of stuff. So, it was definitely a case of one of those and definitely one of those games where like, this is one of the ones that I really wanted to go back to and play more of it, but I didn't have time to with the amount of games that we were playing this week. So it's just like, I really, it's one that I do want to play more of for sure. There's a lot of like, I just even reading the Steam page, there's a ton of stuff to it that even I didn't get to experience yet. So, I think that it's going to be a really, really, fun experience, especially if like you're somebody that likes that sort of like more quiet sort of horror, like the Lovecraftian kind of thing, which is sort of my thing. Or like if you liked, I'll call it specifically the game, Darkwood, which was like that very, very top down kind of eerie survival horror kind of game.
Yeah.
Even though it's completely different gameplay mechanics and completely different style games, it has a very similar vibe to it as far as like when you were playing the game, like that little bit of eeriness, the little bit of I don't know, the aesthetics of things. It will feel familiar in that kind of way. So like if that is a game that you enjoyed, I think this is one that you would enjoy as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sold on it. And even without playing, it was one I wanted to play, just didn't get a chance to with the demo, but I would likely pick this up because it also comes in a bundle with what is the game it came with? Oh, Menace from the Deep, which is that Lovecraftian deck builder that I actually picked up. So that means I get a discount on it if I pick up that bundle.
Also comes with Look Outside, which is also a really, really good RPG, like survival horror RPG.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that one.
Yeah, that one's really good too. I like Look Outside. So
cool.
Yeah, so definitely worth it.
Looks like it. I can get into that for sure. Okay, real quick, I have one more game to talk about that I did play, and I forgot to tell you that I played. So the other game that I played was Arcadium Space Odyssey. That was one I had mentioned last week, and I forgot about until I played it, and then I forgot that I had played it because I played so many other games, and I was like, oh yeah, let me throw this one in. So this one is the top-down space roguelike shooter with like a real like strong arcade sensibility to it. You're piloting these like customizable ships through procedurally generated sectors where I think your primary mission is to be taking or like you're exploring around these different planets and kind of absorbing minerals from them by literally like landing on them. And that's more of a physics-based thing where it's like, as you get closer to them, the gravity of the little planet will start to pull you in. But if you get a perfect landing on there, you'll drain the minerals from it faster and you won't be stuck at it for too long because there's also a timer on the upper right that will show you like the wave of enemies that are coming next. So you're trying to balance like getting as many of those minerals as you can because that's what equals experience. And that's how you're leveling up. And like with any roguelike, as you're leveling up, you get your choices of 3 things. And that is kind of developing your build. Like, are you doing more damage to enemies? Or do you have better shielding, better health? Do you have more powerful drones that are by your side? Things like that. And there are various things around the level that you can kind of go to and or pick up as you move along. Like there are shops there too that you can run across. The way that it's laid out is you don't necessarily have a map, but you have arrows that are sort of all around you, and they will either be pointing to planets or any kind of like other event that's going on, like a little the shop will be like a yellow arrow that has a little like money bag by it. So you know if you want to be flying towards the shop, things like that. And it's just one of those like pretty fast paced, fun bullet hell type of games. And it's really fun once you're developing a good build of whatever your ship is. It seems like there are like, I don't remember how many, but there are a ton of ships you can choose from that you have to unlock like sequentially as you go through with the other ships. It comes with like, it starts with your first ship. If you beat around with the first ship, then you unlock the second one. And I think that is like where the demo limits you is maybe to 3 ships, but it seems like out of maybe like 20 something ships or more. But so there's a lot to choose from, a lot of options, a lot of like, there is some meta progression to it, I think, that you can do after the fact. I didn't really experiment with that because I don't know if the demo offered it up. But yeah, there is just a lot there that is stuff that I like in these like fast-paced, like bullet hell roguelikes. And I just really enjoy the top-down like space shooters. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. Definitely recommend it for anybody who likes games like that.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a blend of like classic arcade style games and then like the more like new sort of style of like Horde Survivor kind of sensibilities in a way as well, like sort of some sort of combination of the two. Yep. And I really like the artwork of it too. Like it looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really satisfying getting perfect landings on those planets too because of how fast you're having to move around. You smoothly land on there. It tells you perfect, and you get that really fast like drain going on. You're like, yeah, that feels great. And then like the like hordes of ships attack you, and you can get taken out pretty quick if you're not careful. So that's also kind of like there's that exciting element to it. I just think I don't know like how like deep this game goes, but even like surface level, like the demo is really fun, and I found myself doing a couple runs of it just for fun. It wasn't just like a one run and I'm good for the demo thing. So yeah, there's definitely an appeal to it for people who like this type of thing.
Yeah. Anytime I do something perfect, I need the voice of like the announcer dude from Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Oh yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. I need whoever that is, he needs to follow me around and yell that at me during my day. So that
just if I wake up in the morning sometimes and perfect. I am I get dressed for work successily. Perfect. Yeah. It's like, thank you. Now I feel good. I'll start my day well.
Then you meet that one like this is going to be the stupidest joke ever. I'm just warning you right now. I'm warning you. But then you meet that new coworker that just came from the the office, from the other side of the world. And you're like, "Oh, where are you from?" And then you hear the guy go, "Japan."
Oh, that's good. Somebody will get that joke.
Someone will get it. Someone will get it. Yeah, it was such a bad joke. And it was so bad that I was like, you know what? Here. I'm gonna ruin it to lead up to it because I know it's bad.
I'm glad you went through with it. Like the follow through was the best, but the preparation for disappointment made it even better, honestly.
Good.
Final round.
All right, let's get through our lightning fast final round of a few indie games that we want to talk about right before we get out of here. I've got 3 real quick for you. The first one I want to bring up is Dead Pets, a punk rock slice of life sim. This is coming out in, yeah, I know, man. This is coming out in February. Very excited for this. This is a feminist demon punk rock band game that looks like again, just to steal like the Adult Swim kind of thing, it looks like it would have been an Adult Swim show of some kind. It's got like a little bit of like rhythm stuff, it's got a bunch of like mini games, it's got choices matter stuff, but the best part is it's got punk rock music. It's like I'm so excited for this. This looks like a game that was totally made for me to play. And yeah, I can't wait. There is like something very explicit that does take place in the game, and they have a warning for it on the Steam page. So it's like, if you are sensitive to that like specific thing, just a warning for you. I would definitely check out that warning before you get into it or you play it. But I'm very excited for this thing. Next one is Master of Peace. And this one is coming to early access in February. But the reason I'm excited for it is because the developer just sent us a playable copy of it. which I haven't really gotten into yet, and I haven't even contacted them yet because I literally just read it today, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I wanna play this. It looks like kind of almost like a board game style strategy kind of game, like tactics strategy game with like some auto battler kind of stuff. And I know since you've been super into auto battling things that maybe this would be one you'd be interested in.
I'm going to tell you something. I did look at this game earlier and I was like, oh, this looks so cool. Then I saw early access and I was like, oh, disappointing. But now that I've heard they sent us a key for it, I'm like, okay, I'm back in.
You're 100% back in. Yeah, it looks really, really cool. So I just, for some reason, there's something about digital board games that I absolutely love. It's just like the fake tactileness, I guess, for some reason.
No,
it's because like I can't afford to keep buying, board games because they are so much more expensive than video games.
I was thinking about that earlier and like literally earlier today. And I was like, I wish that they converted more board games to digital versions. I would pay, well, probably not as much as I would for a physical copy of it, but I would pay money to buy copies of board games that were digital because then I'd be a lot more likely to play them with my friends if I didn't have to take out all the pieces and set up and get like people who are 30 plus years old together in a room for a long period of time. So I think just, for our age group especially, digital board games are so appealing to me.
Oh my God, yeah, so much. That's why I really love the Tabletop Simulator for that reason.
Yes.
And we've gotten so much use out of that over the years. So
100%.
Yeah. Last one I've got is Relooted. So this is a heist game, but also like one of those like super fast paced kind of like running sort of games too, like parkour games. Mixed together. I'm really excited about this one. The premise is you are reclaiming African artifacts from like this museum and stuff like that, where it's like, I like this because it is somewhat rooted in this idea of like, something that has really happened with like the culture of the world as a whole. And like why you saw like, was that like a month or something ago, the Vatican returned like a whole bunch of like artifacts and stuff back to Africa for that purpose because of like, back in the day, just stealing so much crap from, and it's like they probably need to return a whole lot more and everyone else does too. But it's like the idea of that is like you are, you basically go and you case this museum, like all these different floors, and you kind of like plan your route. Then you do your plan, you like go through and you're like basically trying to do it as fast as you can to get out of there before like something goes wrong, you get caught, whatever. And it just looks so much fun. I love the idea of that, of like trying to do the planning, get in there, snatch the stuff, get out. I just think that's really fascinating, and I'm excited to see how this thing shakes out.
I didn't know about this one, but now after you mentioned it and just looking at the Steam page, it looks so cool and definitely something like I would want to play, especially with the timing aspect of it and just the fast-paced sort of. It seems like it would be like press a button right here's kind of deal as you're running through, make this thing happen, and doing these runs of the thing where you would probably fail multiple times or like have these challenges to where you could get a perfect on there and get some sort of like achievement or unlockable because of it. Yeah, exactly. So I'm super into that kind of thing. Would definitely be curious to play it.
Yeah, this one I think is coming out relatively soon as well. Let me see. February 10th. So
nice.
Yeah.
So
really,
within the
really
next
soon.
couple weeks. Sweet.
Heck yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I've been really looking forward to this one.
I'm into that. Yeah, I downloaded the demo already now. So cool. I'll play that one for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you got?
So one I wanted to mention, and this one I just learned about today also, so I don't know like how it's going to be, but Prophecy of Ashen is a turn-based tactics like RPG, which, I'm super into those already. But I just like the like general art style of it, and it looks interesting to me. I don't have a lot of facts about it, but it's just a dark fantasy kind of tactical CRPG.
Cool.
And mainly it was just the aesthetic of it that appealed to me.
Yeah.
So I've downloaded the demo already, so I'll have to like try it out and kind of report back on that. But yeah, it just looked cool, and I'm a big fan of tactical RPGs, so TBD.
Yeah, I'm liking the look of it. It looks like I don't know if it was made in this, but it almost looks like it was like done in like RPG Maker or something, which is like a game engine I've always been really interested in because I've played so many really cool games on made in RPG Maker. So yeah, I'm interested.
A point in time in high school, because that's how long like RPG Maker has been out, at least some version of it, that I was trying to do the same, and it is very complicated. I'm sure it's a lot more user-friendly now, but kudos to anybody who's built anything with an RPG Maker like that.
Oh yeah, there's some really good ones out there, for sure. Yeah, I've played Definitely. Quite a few.
The last one I'll mention is one that you might have mentioned before, because it sounded familiar to me, but Hermit and Pig.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So this one is the turn-based RPG, just adventure, but it just looks like really goofy and fun. And then I feel like you mentioned it to me because I think you said something about the pig, like talking to the man or something. I don't remember exactly, but either way, like it's releasing on the 5th of February. So it's releasing like this coming week. And just the aesthetic of it is selling me on it like super hard.
We will definitely be talking about it because I have played some of it already.
Oh, okay.
And yeah. I actually played it a couple weeks ago.
Nice. You played the demo of it. Okay.
Yeah. I played the demo several weeks ago and it is really cool. It's very funny, which I really appreciate.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm probably gonna sink some more time into it. And we'll definitely talk about it next week. So I really enjoyed it.
Okay, sweet. Then this won't be the last time you hear about Hermit and Pig then.
Yeah. That's been one that I've been like looking forward to for quite a while, like several months, I think. I think we didn't talk about it at a Steam Next Fest, but I think that's the first time I saw it was at the last Steam Next Fest that took place. So I've had it on my wish list since then and just been kind of waiting. So yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it.
Heck yeah. There's a lot of really good games coming out in the next week or so.
It's crazy. It just ramped up so fast this year.
Yeah, I know. I feel like things were like somewhat at a lull for a little bit around like partially through November. Then it was like end of November, boom, we got hit with so much through end of November into December. And then it was like the last few weeks of December, nothing. Like nothing. First week of January, not too much. Then all of a sudden it just exploded again. And now it's indie games all the time. And they're all so good. So
Game of the year, indie game of the year is going to be so challenging. Like last year was hard. I think this year might be even harder.
Yeah, I'm already like thinking like if we do the same thing we did last year, I'm like, okay, what have we played so far in January that I would be like, okay, this is my top for January, you know?
Oh man.
I'm already trying to think about that. So
that's tough.
We'll see. I don't know. Conquest is looking pretty good so far. We'll see about it.
Yeah, honestly, it's a strong contender already for me, and that's a big surprise.
If I can beat a run of Plinbo, we'll see.
Oh yeah.
If you beat it before me though, then no, it's gonna be voted the worst. So.
I will tell you immediately when I do. It doesn't matter what hour of the night it is.
Oh man, yeah.
You're getting a message.
Game over.
If you had a good time listening to this episode, stick around for the bumper to learn how you can help support the show and all the things we do here at Sloth Creative. You can also check the show notes for our link tree, which will take you to our social media, Discord, merch store, and tons of other cool stuff. Get in touch with us, though, and let us know what indie games you've been playing and help us elevate these games so we can help support indie game devs. That's game over for us. My name's Chris.
I'm Joseph.
And we'll continue on the next episode. Perfect.
Continue.
Indie Game Arcade is recorded and produced by Sloth Creative. If you're looking for more gaming content, head over to youtube.com/nerdsloth for indie game let's plays and recommendations. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/nerdsloth, where you can select a pledge and receive access to hundreds of hours of bonus content from everything at Nerdsloth Creative. If you're an indie game developer and would like us to review your game or explore other opportunities, send an email to nerdslothcreative@gmail.com with the subject line Indie Game Arcade. Thanks for listening, and keep supporting indie game devs.